Hey guys, welcome back to Ranger Survival and Fieldcraft. I'm Andrew, and what I have for you today is a look at our 5Cs Military Survival Kit, a basic minimalist kit that can still do a lot for us out in the field for survival. With this kit, we can do everything from sheltercraft to firecraft, as well as water procurement, and even some improvisational techniques to make tools, traps, and weapons, and employ some lesser-known survival skills to make our stay out in the wilderness a little bit more comfortable. Stand by. That first item in our survival kit, the most important item, is going to be our survival knife, what we're going to carry on our belt. And this knife is a Falkniven Swedish pilot survival knife meant for military use. It is a laminated steel, very tough, non-carbon steel knife, so it's not going to drive sparks if we take a hard rock to it. It's got that 90-degree spine, a sharp edge, a full tang with the pommel exposed, and we can use this knife for very hard, difficult survival skills. That second item for our combustion tool is going to be a ferro rod. A small one like this for a military survival kit is perfect. It's durable, can be packed easily, and gives us thousands of attempts to start fire. That third item is going to be parachute cord, a ubiquitous survival cordage that we can pack even in our pockets and take with us. We have 2 hanks of 25 feet and then 1 hank of 50 foot. For that fourth item, our container, we're going to have more than one item in this category, and that's okay. For 5Cs, 10Cs, or any survival kit, we can carry multiple items as a part of that category for cutting tools or combustion devices. With the canteen and canteen cup here, military style, they are meant to go together. That bottle carries water, we can cap it off and transport it over distance. The cup nests under the bottle, and we use that cup to treat water by boiling it over fire to make it safe to drink. So these things go together. We have a heavy-duty lid and a pouch that we've added to this so we can carry it easily. Lastly is our cover item, that fifth item in our 5-piece kit. A military-style poncho is what we're going to use this time of year. It's very warm, and we can do a variety of things with a military poncho. It has been raining all night, and you can see from this log, the exterior of the log is soaking wet, but we cut it in half, and you can see on the inside there is still dry material despite the rain having come down for about 12 hours. Having a good, strong survival knife and that first tool in our 5Cs means that we have the ability to get into that dry material in larger sections of firewood by batoning it and processing it down into smaller and smaller sections. We use the dry material on the inside to start our survival fire with tinder that we have or man-made tinder that we bring with us and get that material lit. We can then use the heat from that fire to begin to dry out the other marginal pieces of material that we harvest off the landscape, continuing to build our survival fire so we can use it for other survival tasks, boiling water to make it safe to drink, cooking our food, or signaling for rescue. Prior to starting our survival fire in any wet conditions, we want to lay down a platform on the earth's surface to protect our tinder as well as our fire lay from any moisture that may be in the dirt. That moisture, if it gets into our tinder, will obviously make it useless, and it could pull heat value away from our fire if we get it lit even while it's on that wet surface. So lay down a platform, we split a log into quarters, and that's just big enough. We're going to demonstrate it here in the fire pit. Once we have our platform down, dry material facing up, we can process our tinder on top of that, strike it with our ferro, light it, and then begin building up our fire with the pieces of material that we processed earlier. Usually that first task when building a survival fire is to treat our water to make it safe to drink by boiling. So we get out our canteen cup, we fill it up with water, and we're going to use the 2-stick method in between the handles of the canteen cup and the canteen body itself to lift up that canteen cup, place it over the fire, and bring that water to a boil. Speaking of water, one great technique in wet environments, especially with a lot of rain, is to turn that poncho into a rain catch. We do this by tying out all 4 corners. Facing up, we're going to pull the hood down so it's facing the earth, and the water from the rain will fall onto the open poncho, collect in the poncho hood, and then all we have to do is dump that into our canteen cup and go back to the fire for a boil. That canteen cup is probably one of the most valuable items in a minimalist kit. It can do a lot of things for us. That survival knife can recreate the rest of our kit from natural materials, but that canteen cup can do a lot of different things for us, from boiling our water to make it safe to drink to cooking food, and we can also use it to help make additional fire tinder. How we do this is by taking our canteen cup, gathering punk wood or 100% cotton material, putting it inside our canteen cup down at the bottom. We grab a rock, put that on top of the material, turn it upside down, and put it in our fire so the base is sealed, and it will superheat just like char, producing tinder. While we're waiting for our punk wood in that cotton material to superheat and turn into char, let's take a look at an improvisational weapon that we can make from a single piece of paracord, approximately 15 feet, that we can use and then take apart and use that cordage later on for another survival task, therefore saving some of our cordage, and that is a shepherd's sling and stone. What we're going to do is get about 15 feet of cordage. We're going to tie an end-of-the-line bowline knot on one end, get a good arm's length from that knot, hand to shoulder, and that's going to be one of the arms of our sling. From here, we're going to stake out 4 stakes and weave our cordage around those stakes, creating 4 bites. That's going to form our initial pocket. From here, we're going to take our running end of cordage and we're going to weave up and over those loops of cordage that we just created. And we're going to flip the pattern every time. Over, under, and then we're going to go over, under as we go from top to bottom. We're going to tighten this thing up and continue to weave. We can remove it from the toggles once we have enough of a pattern built, and then we just complete this until we reach the end. Once we get to the end, we tie a knot, and our shepherd's sling is complete. This is an improvisational weapon. It'll hurl rocks at approximately 200 miles an hour, but we have to practice in order to be proficient to take out any game in survival. Of course, if we want to give up on the shepherd's sling and stone, we could simply just build a bunch of different traps like this Egyptian mouse trap and go after smaller game. When it comes to versatility and cover, it doesn't get much better than a military-style poncho. We could wear that poncho to protect ourselves from the rain or set up a quick survival shelter, but we can use that poncho for many different other survival tasks. We can use it as a smoker to preserve food. We can use it as a flotation device to get down a river or across a body of water. We can use it as a litter to evacuate a casualty. And I'm going to leave a link up here at the top at 10 advanced skills using a military-style poncho for survival. Speaking of improvisational techniques with a military poncho, one thing we can do is carry our gear inside of a poncho. We do this by what's called the horseshoe pack method. What we do is lay that poncho out flat, put our gear in the center, fold our poncho over, and then roll from one end to the other, creating a long cigarette roll. We're going to grab the ends, tie them together, throw them over our shoulder. Now we have our gear packed up, waterproof, and ready for the move. Alright, now that all that other stuff is done, let's check our punk wood and cotton material inside our canteen cup at the fire. We've already gone ahead and swept away the embers and wood to allow that canteen cup and the material inside to start cooling down. We've even pulled it away from the fire, but we made sure that there's still a seal around the mouth of the canteen cup to prevent any oxygen from getting in there and igniting our tinder. We only turn over the canteen cup when the canteen cup is cool enough for us to use with our bare hands. It's still going to be warm, but as long as it's cool enough for us to handle, we can expose the tinder inside to oxygen and it will not combust. We're going to flip this thing over, we're going to pull out that rock, and then we're going to check the tinder inside. The tinder inside looks viable. Now we're going to test it with our ferro rod, we're going to spark it, and then put it in another tinder bundle. Once we have it in there, we just blow it into flame, and it's too easy to create fire with this method. Hanging on to this stuff is definitely a good survival skill to have. Yarrow is a good plant to know this time of year because it's near full growth and it's hard to miss. It grows on the edge of tree lines in moist soil, exposed to sunlight. We can harvest that yarrow because it has a blood-stopping property in it, so we can use it as an improvised dressing to help stop bleeding. But we can also use it to keep the bugs and mosquitoes at bay at night while we're trying to get sleep in our survival shelter. How we do this is by making what's called a smudge pot, and we can use our canteen cup yet again for this purpose. What we're going to do is go back to the fire, and we're going to scoop up embers and coals from our fire that are going to stay lit in the bottom of our canteen cup by simply adding oxygen. Then we're going to grab some punk wood, crumble that up, and put it on top of those coals, and then add our yarrow on top of that and simply add oxygen. It will begin to smoke, and that smoke will help keep those mosquitoes and bugs at bay so we can get some sleep. Alright guys, another down and dirty video, the 5 C's of survival, minimalist bushcraft and survival kit, military style, the items that we have in that kit and then why we carry a lot of those items, a lot of improvisational skills and some new skills I hope you learned here today. I'm out here at the Old School Survival Boot Camp near the Pathfinder School teaching, and I'm lucky to have a team of instructors that's given me a little bit of time and a break to film this video quickly for you guys this morning so I can get back out there and help teach and support the team. But I really hope you liked this video. If you did like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment in the comment section. I always appreciate your feedback. I want to thank you guys for everything you do for me, for this channel, for your likes, your views, your subscriptions, your comments, your feedback, and your shares, and I'll be back with another video as soon as I can, guys. Thanks.